Forget what you heard. Look at us now. Say what you want, ain't no holding us down. Know who we are, who we are. Hey, we are phenomenal. Forget what you heard. Look at us now. Say what you want, ain't no holding us down. Know who we are, who we are. Hey, we are phenomenal.
I just figured they would bleed.
Welcome to the Whiskey Rebellion. And what did you say right before? Something about bleed? What'd you say?
I was afraid that it would the paper cups would just bleed through the alcohol would bleed through the paper cups.
Yeah, they do.
Right before the intro song segued out to us, I did ask, why not the paper cups from the whiskey?
That is correct. You did
And
ask
so that explains that. Facebook was down today, Serge.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And you learned for 4 hours you can deal with
I didn't need it.
So now you weaned.
Actually, let me take that back. I did need it because for a second there, I was like, oh, crap. How am I going to get a hold of Richard and Jason? Because I only have you guys on my messenger.
Right.
Yeah, kind of messed me up a little
I
bit.
had texted you once or twice before back in the day.
Yeah.
So you still had me somewhere in your phone?
Yeah, I looked in there. I was like, oh, sweet. There he goes.
Probably when I was saying, Serge, are you coming close to Ruth Chris? Are you there yet?
No, see, I didn't get any of those. I didn't get any of those messages on Facebook.
Well, it's birthday weeks for us, actually, right? All right, well, welcome to the Whiskey Rebellion, first of all.
Well,
I'm Richard Myers.
Thank you.
Myers Firm, PA.
Glad to be here.
My practice is devoted to representing people in high-conflict divorces, custody battles, when it's most difficult, usually some mental illness on the other side, and you're still fighting with somebody that hasn't addressed their issues, and you need to kind of get that representation to fix that. I also do a little bit of employment law, some commercial litigation. You can find me at www.myersfirm.com. You can write me an email at rmyers@myersfirm.com. You can contact me at 813-477-2623. That's not the number, if you're looking online, that you see there. That card will change eventually. I just recently, in the last couple of years, changed my practice format and formed a informal partnership with another attorney to do these kind of cases, and that's actually the benefit of your bargain because we charge 1 hourly rate for 2 attorneys. So give me a call and we'll take care of you if you have that need. Jason
Ricardo with the law firm of Ricardo and Waslick. We are a statewide practice where we help our clients battle debt collection and foreclosure. Give us a call at 352-567-3173. You can email me at jason@ricardolaw.com. And you could go on YouTube and log on to our YouTube channel, see some of our videos on how you can avoid debt and improve your credit score.
And we are the Whiskey Rebellion, and part of the Whiskey Rebellion is always the initial segment of the taste test.
Sure. Oh, we're not going to talk about.
No, we're not going to. I'm not going to force you to do it this week.
Not this week,
unless.
Good.
I mean, if you want,
unless you want to talk about why is our name Whiskey Rebellion?
We're fostering our conservative values and our right to resist the federal government and our overlords when we don't like what they do. But today we are tasting something different. I think it'll be interesting. I hope it's good. It's Jonah's Curse, which is a black spiced rum.
This is going to be good.
Jonah, as in Jonah and the whale. There's the whale right there.
It looks like it's got to be.
It's got to be good.
A Kraken cousin.
I got it because I thought it might be a Kraken follow-up and a very cheap one at that. And so I thought you haven't had and when you liked in the last couple of weeks. So I thought let's see if we can get Serge something you might like and replenish this Kraken.
The last time you had more than 2 or 3 shots was
Kraken.
No, was the chocolate.
Oh no, it was the chocolate one.
Oh, you know what though? This is a little bit. It seems a little lighter than the Kraken.
Or was it the blueberry?
We had the blueberry.
Oh, the blueberry was good.
Yeah, the blueberry.
I still have some of that at home.
There you go.
All right.
I like the smell of this one. This does.
Yeah,
I like this one.
Does
yeah.
smell pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's going to be.
Yeah, it does.
All right, it's going to get a high preliminary rating.
Yeah, I agree.
It's
Why
distilled.
did you give yourself twice as much as everybody else?
Yeah, because I poured. These are distilled in Louisville, so this is practically a bourbon.
I got a baby shot.
Baby.
Get a baby. Get in my belly.
All right, so as tradition has it, let's just tell the audience. All right, so we smell it. We give it a little bit of a a color
and a
examination. We
pre-number.
kind of do the whole once over, and then we
Pre-taste.
decide out of 1 to 10 what we think
First of all,
it's going to taste like.
the bubbles. I don't understand that.
Oh,
You guys got a lot of bubbles?
I got,
got some
few
bubbles.
but I think it was the way I poured it very fast.
Okay,
It didn't
alright.
pour like a.
Yeah, because I'm like,
He
that's
trapped
weird.
some bubbles just by the way he poured it.
It's weird. Okay.
So we give it a pre-rating, and then we do the
Maybe it's
preliminary palate adjusting sip. And then we
It
do a
smells-
whole sip,
before you-
and then we do
It
a
smells
second
really
rating.
good.
So who wants to go first today with the pre-rating?
I'm going to go with a 6.
Because you're not a rum person.
Oh, I love rum. And
why do you
I
start
love
so
I
low?
love spiced rum, and I like aged rum.
But why today do you
It
start
looks
low?
lighter than I want it to be,
Okay.
and
Wow.
oh, you're tasting it without taste.
No, I'm
Okay.
saying.
Well, anyway, so I'm just, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I'm just saying a 6. I don't know.
All right.
What
I'm
do
going
you-
to go 7. It
Holy-
smells really good to me.
Yeah,
It does
he likes
smell
it.
good.
It does smell sweet.
All right.
Yeah.
So I was going to do almost the same thing, but I don't want to match you.
It smells
so-
like a flat Coke.
So I'll say it's a
It does.
7-1. Just not to be the same guy.
7-1. It smells like a flat Coke. That's what I'm
Not to
going
be the
with.
same guy, sir.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Wow.
There's nothing in that. Is there something in here?
I like it,
Hello.
though. It's a little burning, but it's not too burny.
Okay. Yeah, it's a delayed
It
burn.
almost had a root beer kind of taste at
It
the
does.
beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Read that. I don't have glasses. I mean, I do have glasses, but I can't
all
read.
right. Jonas Curse is a bold, courageous,
Courageous,
adventurous
bold, and
black
courageous,
spice
and
rum, much
bold.
like the sailors who
Courageous.
claim it as their favorite.
Can I just be
libation.
the narrator guy? Like, can I read every bottle?
No,
Because
you
I
should
feel
let me
like
do
you're
poorly,
reading it.
Then you do it better than me.
Of course I do.
Okay,
That's
so
why I
we'll
said I
compare
should
the
do
two.
Let's
I
get
should voice over the shit out of it.
Jonas Curse conjures the golden age of piracy
Jonas Curse
with
conjures
its nose
all
of
this-
sweet rum, vanilla, and mixed spices, flavors of cinnamon, clove spice, and heat, followed by hints of rich chocolate.
Yeah.
And a finish of sweet rum mixed with vanilla and clove. It's the finest black spiced rum on the 7 seas.
You should have. This is how you should do it.
Okay.
Like a pirate. Jonas Curse is a bold, courageous, and adventurous black spiced rum. Much like the sailors that claim it's their favorite libation, Jonas Curse conjures the golden age of piracy with. Wait, hold up. Yes, with its nose of sweet rum, vanilla and mixed spices, flavors, and cinnamon clove spice. And somehow I'm turning it to like a Scottish clove spice heat
Turning into
followed
a
by
Scottish
a hint
pirates of
Turning
of
into
rich
a-
chocolate.
Turning
And
to
the
a
finish, the sweet rum
It does have a little bit of chocolate in it.
mixed with vanilla and clove.
I can smell all those things. Yeah,
It's
it's,
the finest black spice rum in all the 7 seas.
I think you guys are going to like this.
Yeah, it's
What'd
pretty
you say it was? What was your pre?
good. Pre was 7. I'm gonna go 7.5 actually.
That's
I
it?
Yeah, it's not.
Ooh, what?
I'm
That's
disappointed for you.
What?
It's not cracking enough.
It's not
Ooh.
cracking enough. All right. I'm not going to go in the 8s, but I'll elevate my thing.
I will
to,
pull another one though.
I'll go to a 7-7.
7.7. That's cool. What did I say? 6.5? 6.
6.
I said
See, on my
6.
drink scale.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a 7. I mean, it's a fine drink. It's very light. There's nothing wrong with this. If you were,
Again, this is another rocks drink, actually.
There you go, sir.
yeah, you could. Yes, thank you. So yeah, if you're drinking, this would be nice over a nice big fat rock.
Yeah.
A sipping, but an easy sipping drink, not a long sipping
Well,
drink.
I'm disappointed you gave it a higher rating than you initially gave it, because that means you taking it home. That's sad for me.
I was
You know what? We could add to this thing.
Actually, I was going to leave it to the studio.
You know what we could do?
Oh,
So-
then we're never
We
going to
could
get
call.
another drink.
We could have the score that we give it, whether it be that's for the taste and how it makes you feel. Then you could also have the repour, which is how many times you repour it during the show.
Jeez.
Like, yeah, this is so far it's a 2. I got a 2. It's a 2 repour. Might not be a blueberry where it was like 4,
Drink it all night. Yeah.
but definitely.
And you add points to it for every drink.
Yeah. It's like this is a no. It's a 7.5 with a repour of 2 so far.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah,
We're
because
going to
That's
report
quite a
no matter what
matrix.
the system.
I like it though.
That's quite a matrix.
Because the report could be like, "Oh, it tasted great."
Is
and
there
it ate,
any
but it
ice in
burned.
this building at all?
So I'm not going to drink another one, huh?
Any way to get ice at all?
No.
Eh.
I'm gonna have to get an ice. Well, you know, Christmas is coming up.
Yeah,
And, if you
eventually
guys
it'll
want to
get
buy
here.
an ice machine for the studio, we could put it right in there.
You know, this
Yeah.
is 47.
How much does an ice machine cost?
I don't know. You probably get them on Amazon for like $40 or something.
You know, this is 94 proof.
Oh,
Is
it's
that-
94, and it tastes that smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
No, it isn't bad.
All right, well,
I like this.
pour
It's
me
not
another.
the Kraken, but
Pour me another.
it's a repour. The repour. The repour.
All right,
squad.
are we
we
going
go.
to talk Bucks, Facebook,
Let's start with the Bucks.
Florida State?
Let's start with the Bucks. We don't have Florida State.
Florida
That's
State.
boring. Nobody wants to have Florida State. And no, we'll talk Bucks because that's so. And then we'll talk Facebook,
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll end on Facebook.
presumably. Yeah.
Maybe another song by the
No,
by our
any
famous
songs.
host.
So, Bucks. Did you watch?
Yes, of course.
Did you watch?
Yeah.
Did you watch the whole thing, or did you just?
I mean, it had it on as background noise.
So,
doing a show?
did you watch the opening?
I was kind of just messing around with Facebook and stuff.
First thought I had, like, obviously it was a big game, and NBC did a great job of hyping it. And it's a big hype game just on its
Yeah, of
face, but they
course.
hyped the hell out of this. But what did you think of the return itself? Not the game, but just the reception of the fans
they
and
handled
Brady's.
it exactly how they were supposed to.
Yeah, that was well done. I
Like,
mean,
love him before the game, and when the game starts, boom.
Boo.
yes,
Yeah.
See,
I have no problem
tuned
with that.
in-
Yeah,
I tuned in, or I should say, I started paying attention when the game was about to start. So I got the boos, and then I heard from looking on the internet and YouTube before Facebook,
but not
came out.
Facebook, right?
Right. And I heard that the fans were very appreciative of it.
Yeah, I thought they were very gracious.
But all I heard was the boos, and I'm like, oh my god, I love it. And I'm from New York, but that's what we would do.
You would, and I think that's right, and that's the right line. You've got the hey, he's back, glad to see him, but they're not going to cheer for him.
Yeah, we're not going to be out there.
They're going to cheer for him. They want their team to win, and that was the right thing. And I think Belichick, who I'm not a big fan of generally, I think he's like, well, I think AB and Belichick kind of had it the same way. So Belichick is like, we've played Tom Brady for 20 years. We've practiced against him for 20 years. We're familiar with Tom Brady. So that's what he kind of
What did you think about the millisecond hug that they gave at the end?
I thought it was a little short, but
It
I
felt
think he
special.
said, this is what I think he said. Good game, Tom. I'll see you in a little while.
Right. Okay.
Because then he went back and did a 20-minute.
Yeah, Belichick is always like that.
Yeah, he's not a.
He's not a
huggy guy.
No, he's like, just get out of my face.
I will tell you, since we jumped right to the post game, the one post game that I thought I wanted to see a little bit more of was Brady talking to Mac Jones. Because I
Yeah.
thought Mac Jones looked really
He
good.
balled out.
He did a good job. I
Yeah.
was proud of that, and I think he'll have a good shot. What's going on?
Keep going.
Oh, all right. Anyway, I thought Tom should have been a little bit longer in conversation with him. Dead air.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
sorry. There was
There.
I'm
input
checking from
right
a
now.
fan
We have a fan.
who said that the video feed is not coming in properly.
Because it's probably Facebook.
So I'm trying to get the producer to kind of maybe fix that issue if possible before we
it's
waste.
looking good on my end.
Yeah, hold on. I'll pull up on mine too. Although
Okay.
I will admit there was a
where's my
delay earlier when I was trying to do some stuff, so I think there could
And
be.
Facebook is still,
Look, you haven't usually tag me when we get started.
I didn't do it, I didn't do
Oh,
it today.
you rat bastard!
I gotta
Well,
do
that would
it right
explain a
now.
lot then.
Yeah, I forgot.
Okay, well that's okay.
There we go. Bam.
Anyway,
So the best play of the game, though, I'll narrow it down to one play.
boink.
No,
No.
the play immediately preceding the boink.
Yeah, the
Because
block
if not
pass.
for the block pass,
That block pass was beautiful.
Bucks
Yeah.
would have lost the game, and we'd be talking about how Belichick got his revenge, and this changes the narrative a little bit.
Yeah.
But there's something godly about Brady when that shit happens, isn't it?
Well, it's funny because even Michaels was saying, even if it has got the field goal, they still would have had 59 seconds. And it could have been
Yeah,
Chris
and Brady
Collinsworth
would've
that
came
said
down
that.
and-
59
yeah.
seconds. They would have made a game of that. They would have made a hell of a game of
Because
that.
I think they
we-
still had two timeouts. I
we
believe.
still had 2, and we had 59 seconds. He could work up
Yeah, it
something.
is
Although
true.
that was a miserable weather for a game. It poured. You know what? In that cool weather, that's like probably right around, what do you think, about 58, 60 degrees?
Well, it feels
How
like it was
cold?
60 at game time. So
You know that is a cold, wet,
for us,
kinda
it would
rain.
be. For those people
No,
up
for
there,
up there, that's not that bad.
now they would.
No,
they would
that's
think-
perfect. Actually,
They,
perfect
they,
football.
they go to
weather.
games when
it's
it's
that
like
drill,
5
but it's
degrees.
it's that. When you're in that rain where it's not that the rain sucks. You don't mind
It's
the
just
temperature.
constant.
It's that constant in your eyes rain.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, like I just can't see.
Yeah.
It would be,
You know, it's funny when they take the long distance view and you can see all the rain coming down.
Yes.
When they're close, you can't even see it hitting their helmets.
Yeah.
It's like,
No, it's
you
weird,
know it's
isn't it?
raining hard. But
yeah. Why
how come
can't
we
I
can't
see
hear
it?
it pelting
Yeah,
their
and
helmets?
and what's also interesting is like we know that the resolution is far better than it ever was.
Yeah.
And yet you still can't see it.
Yeah.
But it's funny how that is.
Well, so did the Bucks play down to their opponent, or did they play up to us? Or
I think the secondary's in trouble.
Yeah. Boy,
I
they
think
need to-
that's the big problem right there.
They are like Swiss cheese. I don't know. It's either the scheme, or it's the quality of the players back there. Now Richard Sherman did come to play, but he got burned a few times. I'm not sure that that's working for them. They need to plug some holes,
well, injuries will do that.
Yeah, they got.
and they are injured.
And
that's
why do
fair
they
enough.
got? If you know you're light in the secondary, why are you having one of your best cornerbacks on the kick return team?
No. Okay, that's
Well-
a great question. No, I got one more question, but it kind of dovetails with that. And you're right. I think that's a great question. The next question is this: why, when you're not getting any pressure on Mac all game, are you still pressuring him when you know he's burning you in the back? Why aren't you keeping at least
Well,
one
it's
or
not
two
like we went
DBs
without
back?
any sacks. We had 4 or 5 sacks.
Yeah, no, they had.
Yeah, but
they
the
had a
pressure
bunch,
was-
actually.
Okay.
All right, well-
So here's what we did. We knew we were deficient in the secondary.
Yeah.
So we decided everything's got to be before.
Got to put
the
pressure on him.
Right, just going to put it in front of us,
And how-
we'll make the stop and try to get them
Because they
inefficient-
stopped them on
inefficient
there
on
was
third
no
down.
run.
Yes,
there was no run game. Yeah, at all.
we did the bend but do not break strategy based on the weaknesses we had, which was fine. I mean,
And there was some. I thought the officiating was questionable. You could definitely tell that there were some things that were just missed. There was a couple. There was that. Was it a face mask that was called on
Oh,
us?
yeah,
that
there
wasn't
was
a
a
face
bunch.
mask, and then there was something else that they called on us. I don't know. My biggest, not beef. It's not a beef. I did think Tom didn't look good, and I'm okay. He can have a bad game, and it's fine. And he's either it's pressure or it's rain or it's any number of things. And your explanation earlier, and I'll let you have your own explanation for Tom. Very reasonable thoughts. But if Gronk hadn't been hurt, that is a totally different game. Because he opens up that defense differently.
Yeah, he
that
does.
defense has to shift to cover Gronk.
Because they know that's Tom's favorite.
That's right. So with that, Fournette does even better. I mean, Fournette, that kid was
He was good yesterday.
he was awesome.
Yeah.
He was awesome. All right, you had some
All
thoughts.
right, so you can. I know every game is this way. Every single game in the NFL is this way.
Mm-hmm.
If this happened, the stats would have looked different. Or the
Yeah,
game
yeah,
would have
sure.
looked- okay. But when I watched that game, we had one penalty that resulted in a 45-yard pass or 50-yard
Yeah,
pass
the pass
coming back,
interference.
Yeah.
which was a good call, but I've seen that not called more often than called.
Yeah.
Right? So, all right. Number 2, there were a couple of drop passes that were darts that were totally on. One was to Cameron Brate right around the 5-yard line. Was a seam pass
Yeah.
right through his hands.
Gotta get that.
Right, it was right in his
I
hands.
think it's because of the rain with that.
I'm going to answer that in a minute. And then there was one that was over the top on a third down and like 9 from the 25-yard line. We took a 30-yard line to Antonio Brown and dropped it in the end zone. He had it in his hands. We've seen him. You've played Pittsburgh
Super
enough
grab.
as Cleveland fans.
Oh, yeah.
Have seen him make that catch
course.
more often than not. Far more often than not. So if you would just take back just those 3 plays, he'd have 100 more yards,
Basically.
right?
That's a funny point. Yeah.
Right?
And
Yeah.
and, there's,
Okay.
and there's,
And the game would be out of
and
control.
Instead of throwing for 52%, he would have thrown for 60%, and we'd be like, "That's a good game."
yeah, he
Right?
blew it out. Yeah.
So it just there's a few plays. Now, when you say, "Oh, it was the rain," the rookie quarterback threw 19 consecutive passes in the rain.
That's true.
Okay, so don't say it's the rain.
That's true. Hey, you're right.
Okay, so there's the. I think he's calm on the outside. He was kind of like, "This is a big game,"
Yeah, I was jittery.
a little jittery.
He was more
Okay.
jittery
So
then
the early
than the
release-
Super Bowl. Would you
When
admit?
you're jittery, you throw
Yeah.
the early
He
release.
w- I think he was
you
more
tend to
free-
overthrow. You get a little more adrenaline. All that figures in,
Yeah, those butterflies.
and you get those. But I also said, but Brady doesn't mind having the 3 or 4 games a season where he's throwing 50%. Because he's programmed in his head. I'm getting rid of that ball in under 3 seconds.
Exactly.
If I don't see it, I'll throw it away. It'll look bad, but I'll maintain possession. I'll play field position, and we'll end up winning the game. That's the objective,
Yeah.
right? So,
But you do-
you look at a game like, oh, he played
Yeah.
bad, but no, he played to win.
And this is one of those things. And this is the game of football. It's why they play. If this wasn't real, then they would never play the game. So Patriots could have won that game, but it's always just a couple of factors like we talked about. So you've got the factor of Brady being just off a little bit. You got the factor that Gronk isn't there. You got the factor that it's raining. You got the factor that a couple guys dropped. And then you throw in the factor that the defense played like caca.
Or well,
They played like caca. That's the
Okay, well-
official term. No.
okay.
that's
This
that's
is
the
where I
official
disagree
term.
with you.
Caca.
I'm result oriented. Yeah, they let up 19 passes in a row, and a rookie threw for 78% from the. I get all that, but if you go in there and say, "Look, we're depleted in the secondary, we just have to play a game where we keep everything in front of us, and hope the rookie occasionally makes a mistake or there's an occasional drop ball, whatever it is, that usually stalls them out. If we make them play on third down all the time." And we should be able to keep them to under 20
But
points
when you-
if we do that. And they did it. And you say to your team, all you need to do is score 20 points and we win.
But when you say that, you completely diminish the fact that there was a complete sphincter moment. You're like, holy what's going on
Yeah,
here?
we coulda
That
lost,
defensive
but
coordinator was
ultimately-
having a shit fit.
Yeah, but ultimately, if that was our strategy and we pulled it off in a bad weather game,
Sure.
it
But
turned out to be effective.
I don't want to argue with you directly, but your contention there is
You're
that
wrong.
we won. Your contention is that we won because we just hung in there. And I'm like, I believe we won because there were 2 lucky plays. The first one was the blocked pass, and the next one was the bonk. And that's it. That game is over, but for those 2 things.
That's true, though.
And that's what my
No, but
concern
you
on that.
you literally just said a minute ago that Brady would have come down and scored the winning
He would have had the
score
opportunity to.
Yeah, but you believe he would have.
I believe
okay.
so.
I would have. Well, we watched him do it at Dallas, but my fear for last night was that he wasn't on all game, and it was still raining just like it was. My fear is that he would have fallen a little bit
Well,
short.
I'm saying that
because
he
Suck
wasn't
Up,
off as
because
like
he's
you
not
said.
relying upon himself.
He was.
He has to rely upon not himself but Suck Up to get it, and Suck Up did. He had a little tough time last night. He missed one.
He missed one. He wasn't perfect, so he missed.
Yeah, he missed like 36-yarder.
Yeah. So if a kicker goes 80% for a season, is that good or bad?
It's fine. You're so difficult. The reality is that game could have been upside down, but for
Right,
a
but
couple
I'm
of
just saying, as a
bounces.
fan, you're a little bit more of a perfectionist. I'm saying I look at it from the macro, and I'm a fan of the Bucks, but I'm not like a
But let me also say this:
super like I can't. I'll
I did
freak
not,
out about the Bucks.
Although I did believe, and I was talking to my son about this, that I thought it was important that we win that game. We also kind of chatted. Other than this is not college. If we'd have dropped that game last night, as unfortunate as it would have been, it would not have been the end of our season. We would have had a chance to still maintain, beat our division, win the conference, all those things. Losing to the Patriots wouldn't hurt that. But if it were the Packers, that would have, and let's say we're playing the Packers or the Saints or somebody, that could have been a disastrous game had we lost.
Well,
Yeah.
we thought at 7-5 last season there was no chance. Okay, so yeah, and we had some tough losses last year in that group of the first 12 games.
As I said earlier,
So-
I'm not
so-
freaking out about it.
Yeah, so
No,
I'm
I'm
just
not.
saying, had we lost in Game 4 to the Packers or to the Saints, it would have meant the same thing.
I think it
It
creates.
just wouldn't have made.
I think it creates good game film for us to watch. Except for Gronk, he can stay out of the game film. But we're all gonna they're gonna watch a lot of game film and see what are the breakdowns and how do we improve.
All right, so not being a super NFL sports analyst, I think this was one of those games, considering all the emotion, the bad weather, the
The hype.
everything. We went in with a strategy. Just win. Just get out of here with a win. And we'll go from there. And especially when you got 2 or 3 of your defensive backs out, and that was the case at the end of the game. We had Sherman was in there, but
Yeah.
but by the way, segue. Sherman, how do you think he's feeling today?
Yeah, tired, sore.
He's got to be the sorest human being on the planet. To go from basically, I'm sure he was doing his normal workouts and stuff, to game.
But you know what I thought? You know what most impressed me about him? This is going to sound strange because I do know who Sherman is, but I didn't follow him. But since he's been with the Bucks, and I'm watching some of his highlights and stuff. But he's like, when he said he was from Stanford, and I'm like, this guy's a smart guy. He's no dummy.
You didn't know this before? They used to hype that up back in the day when he was with the Legion of Boom in Seattle, that he was a Stanford graduate. He graduated with a perfect GPA and all this stuff.
He
he's a
clearly
brilliant
is
guy.
a smart guy. He
Right.
clearly is a smart guy.
Right.
Yeah, and I was really impressed with that because I'm glad we have him on our team. I think having a veteran who is not only
What if he turns out to be guilty of all that? Well, it would be a first offense. You think it's his first offense, sir? You know
What's
what he's
the-
accused of, right?
no, what's
I
he
think
accused of?
Yeah, that was when he went to his.
He got
father-in-law's
wasted and
house.
had a domestic violence incident. Wasted,
Yeah,
like
he
Uh-huh.
just
like he
was
like he
And-
blew like 0.3 something, or other. He was
And-
wasted.
And
and he was kicking
No,
the door.
It was his first.
Okay,
he's never been
and
arrested for
did anybody
anything
get hurt?
before.
No,
okay, don't care.
No, but very embarrassing, obviously.
care.
Okay. Okay, so
If they
now,
were,
that wouldn't be a character issue. But if
Well,
someone
they
got
can't-
hurt,
no, it is a
But if
but if
character
someone
issue.
got hurt, it would have been a character.
I would have
issue.
been
Wait a
less
sec.
comfortable if someone got hurt. Yeah.
Okay, so what if he did exactly what he did? He banged on the door, and somehow the door busted open and he cracked someone's skull on when it opened. Like, by luck, he hurt somebody. Would you have thought of his character any less?
Yes.
Even though he did exactly the same thing he did.
now somebody got hurt.
Say he did exactly what he did. Exactly, to the T.
Right.
Except the result would have been different.
See, you're relying upon lots of factors there. Right now, all I'm thinking about is some drunk guy banging on a door. Big deal. Right. Now, if you're telling me he's at the door with a sledgehammer
No,
or
I
a
didn't say
battering
that.
ram,
He did
or-
exactly what he did. He banged on the door, and he was, trying to confront. Was it in-laws or
was an
former
in-law.
in-laws or something like that? Okay, and let's say that he did exactly what it, but it resulted in an injury. It didn't do anything different.
depends
But
on the injury, on all of that.
I'm just kind
I
of curious.
know,
of
you're
your
trying
response.
to-
It's like,
because
but why does an
if
injury
the
matter?
Injury because all right, I said injury. If he literally punched some woman in the face, kicked some kid in the ass,
So it was the intent you meant.
yes, if
Okay.
he did that. But if he's knocking on a door and the door flies off the frame and it bonks the old man in the head,
eggshell-
then I'd be like,
eggshell
I'm not a
head
big fan of that concept, but I'm like, that's not like he beat him up. But if he opened the door and he ripped out the 70-year-old man and he punched him in the face 8 times, I'm going to be a little
Yeah, but
worried
that's
about
why
that.
I said if he did exactly what he did.
Because
but
there
someone
is
in
no
the-
exactly
That's
what he
why I
did.
gave
Because
you
I
a
don't know
very
what he did.
Controllable hypothetical.
It's not
and
controllable.
You went off way. Dude, you're fired.
No, you're psychic.
How about the Rays?
Yip, yip. Love the Rays. Big happy. Okay, Rays
So they
at
play the
100.
winner of the Yankees Boston game tomorrow.
Think about that for a moment. You thought Sunday was hyped up. What do you think tomorrow night's going to
Yeah,
be?
it's gonna be crazy.
Yankees, Red Sox at Yankees.
Yeah.
That's gonna be big.
Yeah, it's gonna be
But
crazy.
Huge
I'm
game.
gonna be missing the
Right? They're at Yankees, right?
The
Or they at
Thursday
Red
game.
Sox?
I don't know, actually.
Oh, I think they're at the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Let me double check that.
I know my
But I'm
pops
going
was
to
like,
be
"Oh,
willfully and deliciously and delightfully missing the opening game of the
Where will you be doing?
playoffs.
What will you be doing
for the,
tomorrow?
for the Rays
Why? What's tomorrow night?
on Thursday
Oh,
because it's.
your birthday.
there you go. What are you
Well, I
What are you
knew
gonna
that.
do?"
I thought you were talking about, we're talking about-
Hey Serge, I'm going to Ruth's Chris,
that's why we couldn't go the other week, you little rat bastard.
and then on October 12th, I'm going to the unveiling of the Stanley Cup
Ah, they're
Championship
playing at
banner,
Boston.
and I'm going to the opening game, playing the Penguins. Gonna watch Sidney Crosby lose to the Lightning, and that's. Hey, Jeej, thanks.
Where is it at?
She got me tickets like 5 rows behind the goal
Wow.
Nice.
for opening night. Ah,
You have a good
That's
game.
love.
Fun.
thank you, babe.
She's not listening. It doesn't matter.
No, she is.
No,
She's
she's
running
not.
into the show.
Oh, she.
She was. That's what I sent the message to her.
Oh, she was the one.
She was the one saying.
She was our audience.
Yes, she
Oh,
was.
hi-
She's our audience.
Hi,
on
Gigi.
it. Oh, she's not listening. Hi, Gigi.
The audience.
You have. Oh, ye of no faith.
I have no faith.
So when you get home, does Jill say, "Hey, why did you say this or that?" No, because she doesn't care.
She's never watched.
She never. Right.
She's like,
Maybe
you guys
she's
are
busy with 8 children.
I don't know. Yeah, she's a little busy.
A little busy.
I try not to challenge her on questions like that because then I get the, what do you think I do all day?
Well,
And
Serge,
she's right.
I have
She's busting her ass.
I have the question for both of you. Would you rather go to a fine dining experience or to a Rays playoff game?
Ooh.
Wow. Well, a Rays playoff game can't be cheap. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Someone's paying for
All of our tickets.
either one, like, and you had a choice.
Do we get food at the game?
No, you have to eat your hot dogs before.
No, let's assume your whole expense is paid. You're going to go to a game, but it's regular box seats. You're not in a booth. You're not in a.
Yeah, but it's still a playoff game.
It's a playoff game.
Yeah, I
A
don't
Rays
know.
playoff game. Let's say. Let's
But
just
it's
say
baseball.
with me, or dinner with me, at a fine.
Are we
eating
doing some
establishment.
sort of contest for a listener?
Yeah, we can make it that
We
way.
can- the
But I'm
winner
asking
gets
you
the-
because I know it's a tough call for you.
I don't know.
No, okay, no. Here we
All
go.
right,
Here we go. Here we
I'll
go.
make it easier for you.
Game
a Browns playoff game, my expense paid.
Browns
bullshit
playoff game.
question.
right, okay, right.
That's not even up for debate.
So let's break it down now. So it's not the Browns; it's any NFL playoff game and a fine dining
No,
experience.
fine dining. Unless,
Yeah,
it's
it's gotta
unless the
be
Bucks
food.
are involved, I don't care.
Yeah, because we can watch the game on TV.
But being at the Browns game.
At the
That's
Browns
one
game,
thing.
playoff game, yeah, no, I'm going to that.
Okay, all right,
Yeah, going to that.
all right. So if you bought the plane tickets,
Hey, I'd be
I'll
down.
pay. I'll pay for the game tickets.
Good luck.
Jeez, well, the
You're not going to be
airfare's
able to get
probably
those.
cheaper.
You'll probably have to get them scalped.
So who is it in the AFC this year? Is it Browns, Bills?
Yeah. Well, Browns and Bills are up there. Cincinnati, I think, is 2-1 as well. Or
Somebody
3-1.
else? Yep, somebody else
Okay,
is doing
KC
well.
looked pretty
Baltimore
good.
is, I think, 3-1.
No, I don't like Baltimore.
Our whole division is pretty good, except for Pittsburgh.
What are the Chargers doing? Are they looking? The Arizona's
I
in
think
the
they're
NFC.
doing
Sorry.
Let me check. All I know is we're doing. We played great, especially with a team that had a garbage quarterback yesterday.
Who'd you guys play?
Minnesota.
What? He's not bad. He was leading.
No,
what-
but he was no. I'm talking about our quarterback.
Oh,
Yeah, Brady.
well, why
played
was Kirk Cousins so
garbage.
bad yesterday? Then?
I don't know. I don't think because our defense.
Okay,
Yeah, we got one of the.
you
best
couldn't get your
defenses.
running game together. What happened to
Yeah,
Chubb?
we got a great running game. It's just the passing game was terrible. We should have won by we should have at least 28 points.
All right,
Mayfield left Odell Beckham wide open. Odell was wide open,
so just missed him?
streaking down the field, and he missed him. I'm like, come on.
Overshot him, or
No, under.
It's-
He underthrew it.
man,
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
All
terrible.
right, well, he's
he missed
doing-
a bunch of passes. It was bad.
he's doing too many commercials.
Yeah, I don't know. He needs to get it together. That's
He's
what he
not
needs to do.
concentrating. All right, Jason,
Yes.
not sports.
Okay.
Pick a subject.
Oh,
You want to talk about Facebook?
so we're talking about Facebook now.
Oh yeah, I could show you something funny that I just saw on Facebook.
I just think
About
it's,
what? About it being down?
Yeah. No, it was. I tried to post stuff earlier and it wouldn't post. There was 4 posts that I made, and only one of them did not make it. And the one that did not make it has a little heading above it. Let me see if I can show you. Right there. Something went wrong. We're working on getting it fixed. The post was, that whistleblower was supposed to testify today. Interesting how both platforms went down. That's the one post that did not get approved today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Come on, Facebook. You're looking
Yeah,
real suspect.
I really
right now.
wasn't going to go with like conspiracy theories. I mean, I do think that they're manipulating. I do, but I don't know that it's a conspiracy so much. I just think they're a bunch of jackwagons, and they just feel like they can control shit.
Yeah, but with an ideology behind it.
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah, I'm
Okay,
no
so
fan.
I was like, I heard that this whistleblower
This
came
post
forward
can't be
about,
shared. But look at my options. You could discard it or edit it. But just know we're not going to post that. Thanks, Facebook. Thanks.
I don't trust them, but I need them.
So I do think they're
In
clearly.
case there's a single member of Facebook listening to me right
It's
now.
like that uncle that's in the mafia. Like, you know.
Don't ever talk to me about my business. So you asked me, so I'll try to answer your question about Facebook. I'm not sure it was a conspiracy necessarily with regard to the whistleblower. I don't know enough about what that whistleblower was saying, other than it sounded like she sounds insane. But you have to wonder, what was the impetus? Apparently, this was either a major hack by someone outside that completely shut down Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and I think there was another one, Oculus. Or it was an inside job, and they literally shut off the DNS for all of them globally. That has to be a mess.
Yeah.
Like a major mess. I just don't know what the reasons were. I don't have enough information.
I will
But
say
was
it
the
is a
whistleblower
conspiracy.
really going to testify today?
I thought it
Yeah,
was
she was
tomorrow.
supposed to tell this
I thought it was
either
tomorrow.
today or tomorrow in front of
Yeah,
Congress.
I thought it was tomorrow.
Okay.
And because what it is she basically released 10,000 files and documents
Yeah.
showing that out of all of the discovered hate speech and all this other stuff, they only flagged up to 9% of all of it. And they had released more
But is the
until after the
implication they're
election.
letting the other 91% in?
Yeah, because it's
in a
traffic.
manipulative way
Yeah.
in order to effectuate populations to.
Yep.
Okay, all right. Well, that's the leap. They didn't connect very well on 60 Minutes, and I was like, okay. I heard the promo,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, this would be interesting to find out what Facebook's really doing behind the scenes, and I just started not believing her because I didn't understand what
Yeah.
the nexus of the complaint was. What are you really alleging? Like, they're incompetent? This was we knew if we did X, populations
Well,
would no
essentially
longer,
what
would no
she's
longer get
saying-
along with each other. I mean, like,
Well, it's not even that. It's necessarily they keep the stuff that generates all the traffic because more people watching, that's more data. More data is what they could sell and what they make their advertising on.
Yeah, but
so if this post is hate speech and it's only got 30 comments and this post is hate speech and it's got 1,000 comments, they're going to get rid of this one, but they're going to keep this one.
Okay, so this is interesting to me.
Yeah.
If that example is kind of like illustrative of the problem, I would say that that's just business.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole.
Like, but is it? If that's just business, then it's
That's
not
why
necessarily
because
political.
It's just business, and Facebook knows that. That's why Facebook said,
that,
"Okay,
I think
well,
that's
let's pull the
but-
plug today."
But the hook is, I
Is
think
it bad for society? That's their second.
No.
second
No. I don't think it's
levels.
about society. I think it's about the SEC. It's about the lying to investors and how it could manipulate stock prices and
Yeah, that
such
too.
as that. I think that's the
Okay,
hook.
I didn't
The
think
hook
about
isn't.
that. Okay.
I don't think the hook is, oh, people are mad because you're violating our rights. I think it's like, you've been effing lying to us because you told us you were pulling out traffic, and then you turn around and you're not. So it's the lying. It's like an SEC violation. Am I wrong about that?
and it's also it's hate speech, but it's also stuff that is false. Like what was it?
Well, I mean, like if you
fake
are,
news.
if
They were
you
letting all
are
that go through.
sending out a message that we are not going to allow hate messages or political misinformation, but in some way you're showing favoritism to the source, some sources, because maybe they're more popular, they generate more ads.
Plus, where the checks are
whatever
coming
it is,
from,
right?
too.
More revenue. Somehow it's related to revenue, and they're letting that slide. Then it's an unfair and deceptive trade practices act because you're getting people to join and maintain their membership.
Okay.
And they get billed on the basis that you're thinking you're getting something that you're not. So I mean,
But-
Ted Cruz was mentioning this in
but
one of his rants about the unfair and trade and deceptive
I gotta
unfair
follow up
trade
on
and
that. The
Deceptive and Trade Practices Act. That's
But going back to what you were saying, and of course, maybe the answer is obvious, but you were saying, well, they cut the hate speech that only has 30 people, but they don't cut the hate speech, which, by the way, I don't buy into either of those, but the hate speech that is 1,000 people. I'm about to ask you a question. It is not rhetorical, but I know the answer. I'm going to ask it anyway. Then why block Donald Trump?
Because at the time, because they, you know how it is.
No,
man.
because he was a fucking moneymaker. That guy was clicks.
Yeah.
That guy was clicks. And they took that. So if she's right.
And they
I mean,
only
now you
blocked
could,
him. They
so
blocked him after January
I mean,
6th.
I could answer my own question. I could answer my own question and be like, they did it because it was easy and it was so observable. And maybe, he's the shadow block.
was the face of-
They block him,
Yeah.
then they don't block anybody else.
Well, also, they didn't block him till after January 6th. So that was the whole main.
What happened on January 6th?
Nothing.
Let's hear it, sir.
What happened
on January
Nothing happened
A
on
bunch of
January
people
6th.
ran up in the
Did
Capitol
you, did
building.
you realize
Yeah.
that they finally released the
Broke all
the-
kinds of
all the
stuff.
cameras?
Broke? Oh, my God.
Broke
wandering
windows.
around.
Did you hear that they recently released, not followed much by the mainstream press, by the way, all the cameras that were on in the Capitol during this, and like 99.999% of the film, it's just people strolling around using their phones.
Yeah.
Just like there's nothing going on. There's no insurrection.
Yeah, but how did it start? How did those doors open? Did they just
the FBI
go
allowed
up and they opened the doors? Okay, everybody, we're doing a free walkthrough today. Come on through, take pictures.
They
This
opened
sounds-
the
Or were
doors.
the doors
I hate to
broken?
sound like a
No, they
nutbag.
weren't.
I hate to sound like a nutbag. But if you were intending to
Were
take down the
people-
Republican Party and the president right before the well, he's out by then, but I know, but to make it look like he has no more power, he's out, he's forever gone, he's an insurrectionist. Why don't you have some insiders allow a bunch of protesters in
And make a
then
scene about it.
Then claim
Oh, you
it
mean like
was
a
an
false
insurrection.
flag?
Like the
Total
Russian
false
hoax,
flag.
which has completely been a hoax. Why couldn't that also be possible that the insurrection is a hoax?
Yeah, that they had insiders that started the whole thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like when
that started it. I'll just allowed it to fester so that they
Yeah.
can claim that it was.
like what they do for the Black Lives Matter protests.
Exactly. No,
Exactly, it's the same
I
thing.
have
No,
no
I'm
idea what you're
saying-
talking
There
about.
could be
I don't know what you
insiders.
meant by that.
What do they call them? Provocateurs is the official term.
Yeah, all the rednecks that get into Black Lives Matter and provocateur them.
I'm just saying,
All right.
same thing. Happens all
So
the time.
who's Durham investigation is still doing the investigation? regarding
Presumably,
it? Okay,
yeah.
presumably. I certainly hope I hate using this expression, but at the end of the day,
At the end of the day,
that
We'll be dead by
Because
then,
what
but
I heard
yeah.
on the
When all
actually,
is
I heard
said
on the
and
radio
done.
today on the way actually coming up to see you is that again we're waiting on more potential indictments. That it's getting so deep inside that law firm.
Yep. It's
Right.
possible.
I forget the name of the
Cooey,
whatever.
something Cooey.
Yeah, something Cooey. And apparently everyone at this law firm knew top to bottom that they were going to create this, start this hoax. And I certainly hope at some point, because we hoped it would be a year and a half ago when we got results.
Sure.
Oh my God, look how long it's been. But what would the world look like if we had definitive proof? Definitive proof
That the Russia hoax was a
was
hoax.
an actual like so right now we have pretty good evidence it was, but once we have people going to jail for it,
What does November- what
are
does
the
November
history
look
books?
like?
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
what
is
does
the
November
history
look
books going to write about that? that there was a cabal from the moment he was
I think
the presidential candidate to take him out.
the history books that will look back from the half of the country that survives. My what did I call it? The NSA, Normal States of America, will clearly show that, and the PSA, the Psychotic States of America, will continue to believe Hillary Clinton is a saint.
Yeah,
and that Capitol riot occurred.
We're so polarized.
We need to move. And so one of the funny things, not to segue away, you were having a serious conversation, but not to steal it from you, because I wasn't even thinking about it until just 10 seconds ago. But the more I watch, I am hearing more and more normal people say, we are two countries. It is untenable. When are we going to recognize this? When are we going to separate? When are we going to just cut it in half? When are we going to do... You're hearing that more than ever. We've never talked like that, and you've never heard conservatives talk like that. You've never heard conservatives. I don't want to really hear it. I know, because you want to put your head in the sand and pretend that everything is normal.
Once we go there, there's no going back. That's the problem. I
don't care. I don't want to. I don't want to be. But I don't want to be consumed.
Praise the Lord.
I do not want to be consumed by this insanity. I would rather be separate and live free than consumed.
All right. So, do you believe that there could be a inflection point on this point of consumption where we're being consumed up, that people say that's so fucked, that people wake up and we have a sort of like a revolution?
No, and I'll tell you,
it recalibrates.
Can I explain why? I've probably given you this story before, but I'll repeat it. And this is one of the reasons why I think there is no going back. We are broken. It's broken and unfixable. We are fucking Humpty Dumpty. And I'll tell you why. When all the shit hit the fan about Russia collusion being a lie, I was talking with one of my very, very good friends about their belief in Trump being an evil, rotten scumbag, Russian collusion guy, right? And I was like, but it's all coming out that it's false. And I was like, yeah, so that was false. But there would have been something. If it wasn't that, it would have been something else. So there's no bringing them back. You're not going to talk to your never... And by the way, this is a Republican. He was a never-Trumper Republican. He will never come back to the Republican Party to be with people like you and me, because he believes that anybody who voted for Trump is a racist. There's no coming back from that. Even when you say Russia collusion was a hoax and there's proof of it, they're like, yeah, his actual literal statement to me, we were face to face. This was not misunderstood words. Yeah, but there would have been something else. Right, you would have made something else up once that failed. I mean, the problem is that we're so broken that even truth, you cannot break it. These people are so psychotic, they are so set that there's no bringing it back. And I believe that.
So, the only solution in your mind is two countries.
The best solution, not the only, the best solution in my mind is two separate countries that separate voluntarily.
Right. Now, back to the early days when you were first joining the show, we were talking about this subject.
We've talked about
We're
going to
go back because you're reminding me of something.
Yeah.
So even when we're living next as neighbors in two separate countries, however we divide the lines, who knows how we gerrymander it to?
It'd be gerrymandered as hell,
right,
but
right, okay.
For lack of a better word.
So if one of the PSA states go into a crisis that requires military intervention to protect it, does the NSA state come in and help?
Yeah, in my theory, my hopefulness, the short answer is yes. Because I've seen, like you said, what is the solution? Well, there's probably 1,000 solutions. One of the solutions in my head is a country that remains one as an umbrella, but instead of 50 states under one country, we've got states under one province and states under another, so that there's an umbrella single. We're still Americans. We still love each other. We still have probably a very stripped down constitution of sorts. But they self-govern their PSA, and then the NSA self-governs. So more of a Confederate type of a situation, not trying to call it a confederacy, but more of a Confederate situation, a little bit looser.
I find this. So you play it out logically.
Trying to.
And over time, the country exists in that Confederate modality, and massive amounts of populations migrate to the NSAs because the PSAs start to we can't survive with this form of freebies, and we're not making anything as a government. We're
Homelessness
just giving
and heroin needles.
Right.
Yeah.
It just escalates out of control. Do we then bail out the PSAs and say, okay, we can't have half our land being wasted, going to waste? What do we do?
So there's a couple things, and there's a couple of fears. One of the options is, and this is, wow, we could talk like this for
5 more minutes because we got ice cream at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, 10 o'clock.
You said 10 o'clock?
Yeah, well, we leave at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
Oh, you leave your house.
I got to drive to Dade City. That's an hour. Got to pick up my kids from rehearsal. That's at 9.
What are you guys taking your kids out at 10 o'clock?
They get out at 9 o'clock. Well, because I'm homeschooler. I don't give a shit. Well, they can go to
how late is the ice
sleep
cream
in the car.
shop open?
They're open till 11.
Okay.
You haven't eaten ice cream at 10 o'clock at night? That's
Not
why my
with
kids
8
love
kids.
me.
Not with 8 kids.
I take my kids out for ice cream at 10 o'clock all the time. Okay, not all
right,
the time,
we'll
but
call
we
it
do.
a state
We're
of-
very flexible. We don't care.
10 o'clock is ice
We
cream
don't
time.
have.
No, for you, because,
Yeah.
Okay, so
sometimes you just got to have your ice cream.
can we put a pin in that? Not
Okay,
because I
sorry.
don't want to discuss it, but I do want to discuss it.
Okay.
I would be happy to put a pin in that. Let's talk about what that solution looks like, because I fear two things. One is, as the NSA, would the NSA bail out the PSA to keep the Chinese out? Yes. Would the NSA bail out the PSA so that the PSA could take over the NSA? No. Is it about money? No. Because when you love your family, no matter what happens, you will open your doors to help them. But there would have to be rules, right? You're going to live under my house, you're going to live under my rules, right? That type of a situation. So, yes, we would bail out the PSA. The reality is, though, that I think the PSAs would eventually realize how stupid it was, and eventually they would rise up and vote out their own socialist
So this
style.
is the interesting thing, because you look at, let's call the PSAs today, Baltimore, L.A.,
New York,
Seattle, right, Portland, right? Okay. So you look at those as PSAs,
Yeah.
who have been under
Psychotic rule for years.
for 60, 70 years in some cases, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's 20, 30, 40 election cycles. Where's the change? I mean, it's obvious it's not working. Why doesn't a change occur?
Okay, great question. I believe this is why this is a long conversation, because your questions are not simple answers. Some of them are there's a very simple knee-jerk answer, but it requires a lot more analysis to get to the heart of what you're saying. The reality is the media has been brainwashing people for 50, 60 years now.
That the only people that care for them are the people on the left?
So the media does it. Their community leaders say it to them. They've been pumping racism down their throats all these years, and they are not paying attention. Right? We've talked about this before. There are the thinkers and there are the feelers. I believe, and I've said this before, there's really 3 types of people. The people who want to vote right, the people who want to vote left, and the people in the middle who don't give a shit. Most of the people that live in the PSAs, most of the people that live in the NSA, they're these people, the people that don't care. And they just go whichever way. Oh, wait a second. That white honky wants me to go here, and my brother over here wants me to do this. Well, look at him. I'm going to go with that guy. Well, if it's that simple, look at that racist Trump. Why would you go with Trump? Why wouldn't you go with Biden? He's going to give you shit.
Okay. Do you believe that it's better, not constitutional, but better to have some sort of civics testing for the right to vote?
That would be nice. I like the idea of landowners voting again, but yeah.
Just land.
Yeah, I should get more
People
votes
have
for
a stake, like a.
Like I think I should have 3 votes plus 8. I should get 11 votes.
So what would because you like the idea
joking.
of
I'm just totally
no,
teasing
but
it,
it's a principle of saying, okay, you have to prove some basic level of understanding of politics, current events.
Yeah. Generally, that would require you actually being a legal citizen.
Right,
Yeah.
more than the I know that 1776 was the year of our independence and shit, like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like just an understanding, a civics exam.
It's an interesting question. I
Okay.
in theory, I like that idea. I don't know that it's practical, but I like it.
No, I'm saying
Yeah.
set aside practicality and constitutionality.
Yeah.
Does it make sense to you?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Because if you don't care what's going on, why should you get a vote? It's kind of like the way businesses run. Who gets to run the business? The people that are do the mail people who just sort the mail and file paper in the files, should they get a say in what happens in the business, or should the people who run the business know where the money goes, how the money comes in, and how the business is actually run the business? Well, you wouldn't let file clerks run a business.
Right.
Okay. So if you could make some absurd, correlation to that, yeah, that's how it makes sense. Because when you let people who don't have a clue, and I'll give an example. I know I have family members who don't have a clue. Let's not break it down to, idiocy. Let's just break it down to people who don't give a shit. People who don't pay attention.
Yeah, you still cast their vote.
If you don't pay attention, you don't even understand what you're voting for. Why would you vote? By the way, a lot of them don't.
That's true. I would say the vast majority of people don't care, are not motivating themselves enough. to
Unless
get to
they're
polls.
scared because this racist, orange-haired man is about to take the presidency. Because they're scared to.
Which is a good segue to start another show on about these audits.
Oh, yeah. I don't know a lot about the audits, but I'd be happy to talk.
We should research the
I
audits.
think we should put a pin in that
Because
conversation.
I think that some select counties have not shown that the vote would have been changed, but they have shown more evidence that there's 64,000 unexplained counting and like whatever it is, right? Like there's so many irregularities.
If we want
to
to talk about that, that'd be a great conversation.
Okay.
I'd love to plan that up. But I also think that, when we started talking about when we changed the name from conservative parents with liberal children, liberal kids. God, even I'm making that mistake now. You tricked me. And then we turned it into Whiskey Rebellion. In my mind, one of the reasons why we talked about that rebellion was this separation. For me, it's key to the conversation. The problem is it's gotten whitewashed. Not because of our program, but because of the politics of the day. Because everything was going to go back to normal under Biden, and guess what?
Oh, wow.
It isn't.
All right, wait. One more subject for next week.
Quick, I got to pee, though.
One more subject for next
It's
week.
8 o'clock. I got to go.
What seems to be occurring in many sporting venues across the country is the F. Joe Biden chants.
Oh, I thought it was a Go Joe. What's his name? Joe Brandon or what?
No.
Did you see that?
No.
So, okay, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it next week. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yes,
All
F.
right.
Joe Biden.
So
is
I'm Richard
getting
Myers of the Myers Firm, PA. I am an attorney. I represent individuals that are having difficult or high conflict divorces, custody battles, and the like. I also do employment discrimination law and commercial litigation. You can find me at 813-477-2623 by phone, and you can email me at rmyers@myersfirm.com, and you can check out my website at myersfirm.com.
Jason Ricardo of the law firm of Ricardo and Waslick, where we help debt collection. Oh, hold on a minute. We don't help We help people with debt collection issues protect their credit and avoid that debt. 352-567-3173. Jason at ricardolaw.com, and find us on YouTube, Ricardo and Waslick YouTube channel. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Guys, take it easy, okay? Okay. Okay. We're going to play the intro. Yada!
See ya. Jonas.
Ain't no holding us down. No, we are who we are. Hey, we are phenomenal. Forget what at us now. Say what you want, ain't no holding us down. Know we are who we are. Hey, we are phenomenal. Coming to the game like LeBron James. Rookie of the year with no complaints. No faking statements, what we witnessing greatness. No matter all the hating that comes out they faced it. The flow high, yo, guy go psycho on the mic though. Might show Michael's thriller killer in the sky. Whoa, eyes go out they sockets. He drop hits, beats knocking every time he come around, hits popping. Shorty's top notch, you're watching, crouching on the couch then. Heart stopping, sweat dropping to the floor of the court. 3 seconds in the game, nobody wants it more. Keep giving me the ball, game winning score. Believe they see what's up, just leave it up to us. When there's no one left to trust, call him Kobe in the clutch. They need a general and nobody else. I'm not trying to blend in, I'm separating myself. Hear what you heard, look at us now. Say what you want, ain't no holding us down. Know we are who we are. Hey, we are phenomenal. Forget what you heard. Look at us now, say what you want, ain't no holding us down. Know we are who we are, hey, we are phenomenal.
Yo, blood, thicker than water. I met surgery at work, getting tips from my daughter. From earning nickels and quarters, graduated in dollars. One way trips around the globe, gun point running on us. The 5 both think we hustling, but the product was music. Real life felt troubling, on stage I would lose it. New kid with the message, young pun help to spread it. Alfie on the camera, Swiss and Blaine on the next hit. Bumping nothing like me, bad habits and Fedosky. DAK on deck, stayed with the toasty. Blazed up the cipher, Dutch hit the lighter. 5 minutes later, lyrical prize fighters. I might just take it to the Accord with no AC. I spit rhymes with my baby in the backseat. Before Gino Lexus, it was Jackie. It's thick, but it don't take blood to call you family.
Forget what you heard, look at us now. Say what you want, ain't no holding us down. Know we are who we are. Hey, we are phenomenal. Forget what you heard, look at us now. Say what you want, ain't no